So I figured I wanted to talk about my first client, 3 mistakes I made with my first client, and I want to impart that knowledge back to you guys. So let's talk about it. So the story goes like this. I got commissioned to photograph a car. I used to be an automotive photographer. I used to photograph cars, and I got hired to shoot a vehicle. And the second the person said, "Hey, are you interested in photographing this car? I'll pay you. How much would that cost?" Just literally on a whim, I said $50. And it was what I guaranteed was a 24 by 36 inch print. I didn't know exactly where I was going to find that, but I was like, $50 should get me there. Which brings me to mistake number 1. Not understanding your cost of doing business, not understanding what your expenses are. I didn't know what a 24 by 36 inch print was going to cost me. I just knew I was going to find it somewhere and that hopefully I was going to get it done. Now, ultimately, this is the rest of that story. I ended up driving my big pickup truck, V8 pickup truck, around the city to be able to find a printer that would actually print that. Instead of calling, I physically went to each location because they weren't picking up the phones. And I ended up spending a ton of gas to look for that print. When I finally found it, it was about $35. So my total expenses were about $80 and I only profited $50. So again, understand your cost of doing business before you give someone a potential quote. Just understand what your expenses are going to be and how much you're going to profit. That's lesson number 1. Now, number 2 is give yourself ample time to be able to complete the assignment. I didn't know how much time it was going to take to actually have that printed. I got lucky enough to find a printer that could print same day, 24 by 36 inches on that assignment. But ultimately, it took almost 48 hours to find that. And then when I finally delivered it, I delivered it luckily on time, but it was almost the tail end of what I guaranteed, the 24 to 48 hours to shoot, edit, and print that assignment for the customer. So give yourself ample time to be able to deliver on the assignment that you're trying to guarantee to someone. Number 3, presentation is everything. The third mistake I made with the same client. Now, when I went to go get that printed, they gave me the print in a tube. I took that tube, I gave it to the client. That's exactly how I presented it to that person. That tube said the pharmacy name on it. I delivered it just like that. Here you go. This is amazing. It's an amazing image. Now, think about that. How am I perceived? I just went to a pharmacist, the same pharmacist they could have gone to get this printed, and I took that same tube and I gave it to them. I don't really have a lot of presentation there. So ultimately, I look like a hobbyist and enthusiast. I don't look like a professional. So consider your presentation of how you're giving those files to someone. Don't just burn a CD. Don't just put it in the tube that the print came in. Don't just put it in the envelope that the prints came in. Find some way to physically print that out and put it in some sort of presentation so you look like a professional. Presentation is everything with clients. So those 3 things to recap. Number 1, understand your cost of doing business. Number 2, give yourself ample time to complete the assignment. And number 3, presentation is everything. And that's it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please leave those in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an amazing day.